paper too?
Yeah, I switched the order.
I'm so confused.
Okay, what do you notice that's different in this problem? In the second problem, we had a distributed load that was different from the first one. What's different in this one, Malcolm?
A moment.
I have a concentrated moment. Okay? Where is the concentrated moment going to count? It's going to be down here in the moment diagram. So when we go into the shear diagram, we're still only going to need to look at the loads. So what is missing from the shear diagram? What do I need to put on here? Units. And what are we dealing with? Pounds. And what units per moment? Foot pound. So again, this 1,800 pounds and this 2,200 pounds, both of those values are reactions and supports that are already calculated. Okay, just a few minutes to get the shear diagram from the information in the force diagram. Okay, I drew it up here. Notice because of the distributed load, it wound up crossing the axis because I was above the axis and it needed to come below. And we have to figure out what this distance is, right? Why do we need to know what this distance is? Because we're going to need to know how to calculate this triangle area to create the moment. So figure out what that distance is. Just give me an X. I want a ratio. So X over Y. Tell me how you did it. So you can set it on so Y is going to be 300. So I have two ways that you can calculate what that x distance is, and I'm sure there's more. There's got to be some fractional, you know, y is like what. I think I know what you did. Okay, anybody have any questions on the shear diagram? Okay, and I'm going to put my positives here because I like to remember that it's positive areas and this is a negative area. You got a question? Okay, in order to produce, so no questions. In order to produce the moment diagram, what do you need to look at? The shear diagram. However, go back up to the original problem. Whenever we look at these free body is everybody with me? Whenever we look at these free body diagrams, we're always looking at the concentrated forces and we're showing them communicated in shear. Well, what do we have up in this problem? We have a concentrated moment, right? A concentrated moment. So I have to remember that at this spot, I have to make sure, what happens at this spot? Concentrated forces cause me to go directly up and down. What do you think a concentrated moment causes you to do? Go up or down. So when I approach these problems, everybody's listening? Because this is where people make mistakes. When I first look at the problem, I look to see if there are any concentrated moments. And if there are, I go right down to the moment and I put a dot to remind myself that I'm going to have to look at the force diagram, the free body diagram. Because typically on shear and bending moment diagrams, you take all the information from the free body, you put it in the shear, and then you never look at that. You only look at the shear to get the moment. But when there is a concentrated moment in the free body diagram, it has to be communicated in the moment. Okay? So let's start the moment. I'm not really sure where we are. Gavin, you want to start? Sure. I think we did Daniel already. So what do I do here in this first section? Slope up to 9,000. And how did you get 9,000? 1,800 times 5. Did you say you said 9,000, right? Yeah. Okay. So now, I have to explain this. So this is kind of not what you would think, but I'm going to try to explain it so it is what you think. Okay? I'm going to tell you what we're going to do, and then I'm going to show you why it is after, with the math. Cool. Because it all has to do with the sign convention for statics, and why we do get the shear. Like, why is the positive here, and why is it a negative? Why is this positive and not negative? And it's based on the sign convention in statics. So I'm going to show you that in a little bit. Okay, in the meantime, so when you had a force that went up, what did you do with the shear? I want everybody to say it.
Slope
Force up, what happens with the shear?
Up.
Up. Force down?
Down.
Force up?
Up.
Force down.
Down.
Come on, I'm only hearing Matt talk.
Down.
Speaks for all.
You ready, you guys?
Yeah.
Up,
Up.
down,
Down.
up,
Left.
down.
Down.
Okay, now, if the moment, so I said up, right? So let me say it this way. If the force is positive, which way do you go? Positive. If the force is negative, which way do you go?
Negative.
If the force is positive, which way do you go?
Positive.
If the force is negative, you go? Negative. Okay, it's the opposite for the moment. Is this a positive moment or a negative?
Positive.
It's positive, so what do we do?
Negative.
Down. Son of a gun.
Okay.
And I'll explain later why. So we go down 1,000. Okay, Stanley, what do we do next? So I'm looking at, it goes up, yeah, how much? I'm going to calculate it first. What's the area here? 300 times 5, so it's 1,500, right? So it's going to go a little bit above the 900. Make sure these lines look, don't look like a curve. So if it went up 1,500, what am I at now? Yeah. So I probably should put 8,000 here, right? Does everybody agree? This is 9,000. It goes down 1,000, so it's 8, and now it's up, and it's 9,500. Okay, Julian, what happens next? So should we look? Let's look at the cheat sheets. It's going a little crazy. Hang on. Okay, here, we're looking at, let's do it negative. Is that all right? Look at this. So what do we have? We have a negative slope, positive area, so it's got to go which way?
Down.
Try again. Look at the cheat sheet.
So we're going to go convex.
So you see it's a positive area, right? Positive area, negative slope. Positive area, it's going to go up. What is it going to go up to? Let's calculate it. So what's this area here, Julian? 1/2
Yeah, 1/2.
base, 1 times 2, and height?
300.
300. So what's that? 150 times 1.2.
180.
180? So it's going to curve. You got to make sure it looks like a curve. So what is it going to curve up to? 9,680, right? Okay, and then Heather, the next one. So you want to calculate the area, right? 1/2, what's the base? 8.8 times, what's the height? 2,200. And what's that come out to, Gabby? 9,680. Awesome. Did we want it to come out to 9,680?
Right.
Damn right we did. So Gracie, what's the maximum shear? 2,200 pounds. Matt, what's the maximum moment?
The 9680 kick or half
Push down.
push down. So
And it's the maximum bending moment. Okay, questions? Yeah, Brandon?
So that sharp change in the moment diagram,
Yes.
is that significant when you're designing something? Would that be something you would look at if there was such a sharp change?
Well, there's sharp changes in shear too. it's as if on this side of that point, it's experiencing a moment of 9,000, but on this side, it's 8,000. It just happens that these numbers are still less than the max, so this beam is going to be designed to this number, actually to this number times 2. So it just means that this section is experiencing a higher moment right here than this. But it's not like I'm screwing with that beam right in that spot and confusing it. That's not happening. Okay. Okay. So everybody's going to remember on a moment, if you have a bending, if you have a concentrated moment, is everybody listening? If you have a concentrated moment of negative, what happens here?
Positive.
Positive. It's the opposite. Just remember that, and I'll explain why in a little bit. Spencer, you had a question?
You're gonna go
Okay. Okay, so I want to show you the map. So I'm going to so let's go back to one of them. You know what? We're going to do the hardest one.
Can we just do that one?
What? We're going to do it using the map.
It's the same one.
It's the same one we just did. It's the same exact one we just did. Okay, so you guys, watch this. We have 3 different sections, right? 3 different sections here, section 1, section 2, and section 3. So I'm going to do the math for section 1 first. And that is from where x is from 0, x is equal 0 to what? What's the distance?
5.
5 feet. Okay? And I'm going to draw the beam. So this is point A. And here's B. So here's point A. And I'm going to draw the beam. But I'm drawing it within the first section, so I don't know where I'm cutting it. But I'm going to cut it, and I'm going to cut it at a distance x. Could everybody see this? When I'm in the first section, before I hit this point, are there any forces or moments I experience here? Say it again. If I'm looking at this section, and I'm going to cut this beam somewhere in this section, is there anything to the left, any forces or moments applied that I need to consider? Yeah, there's the 1800. There's 1800. But it's only when x is 5 do I hit this point, right? It's only when x is 5 that I get this concentrated moment in this 1,500 pounds. As long as I stay under 5, so maybe we can just stay like just a little bit under 5. So let's do this. Let's say x is greater than or equal to 0 and less than 5. How's that look? As long as I'm less than 5, I'm not going to get that 1,500 pounds down or this concentrated moment. And right here, I'm going to call this point C for the cut. That's where I'm cutting it. I am applying an arbitrary V and a moment like this. And this is the sign convention accepted in statics. Okay. So then I'm doing my sum of the forces in the y equal 1,800 minus v equals 0, and v turns out to be 1,800. Sum of the moments about the cut is 1,800 times x negative plus the moment at the cut is equal to 0, and the moment turns out to be 1800 times x. Does everybody feel comfortable with this? No problem, right? This is my free body diagram. This is my free body diagram for this section. It has the 1800 on the left. It has x represents that distance, and I'm trying to calculate the shear at any point within that x and the moment anywhere. So I'm breaking it. And when I break it, I have to put the shear in the moment. And I put the v down and the moment positive because that is the accepted sign convention. So now we go here, and I know that anywhere in here, the v is always 1800. And the moment is 1800 times 0. So when x is 0, it's 0. And when x is 5, it's linear. When x is 5, what's 5 times 1800? 8,000? Yeah. 8,000. Thank you. So when you do shear and bending moment diagrams, you could either do it the way we did it already graphically with no calculations except calculating the area, or you could do it this way. So now let's do the next section. So the next section, section 2, is when x is equal to or greater than 5 and less than, what's the next one? 10. And actually, I can't say x is this. Why? You'll see in a minute. The section here goes from 0 to less than 5. Here, section 2 goes from 5 to less than 10. Because x, you'll see in a minute. So now, I'm still coming from A, and I have the 1800, what should I draw? I have to draw the 1800 pounds. What's the distance here? 5 to here, and there I have a moment, a concentrated moment, right? And 900 or 100? 1,000.
Oh.
The concentrated moment is 1,000, and the load here,
I thought we were going from 5 to 10.
yeah, okay, 0. No, see, but the section is 5. Let me just, don't get confused by this. Let's just look at the drawing. So I'm drawing, because now I don't want to cut it here anymore on the beam. I want to cut it here in the second section. So I know all the information about the first section. This is 1,500, right? And now, this is where x is. X is this unknown distance here. So what does x go from? Okay? So then I have to draw on my shear and bending moment. Draw my v, and draw my moment. And I do my equation again. Sum of the forces in the y equal 1,800 up minus 1,500 minus v equals 0, and v is equal to 300. Some of the moments about the cut. And some of you on the exam, you have to tell me where you're finding the moment about. You have to put x-axis or the x-axis through point C or whatever. You have to tell me that. So some of the moments, that would be 1,800 times 5 plus x negative, 1,500 times x positive, plus 1,000 plus m equals 0. So this is negative, what's 5 times 40, 0, 49, negative 9,000 minus 1,800x plus 1,500x plus 1,000 plus m equals 0. So m equals 300x plus 8,000? Yeah. So let's draw it. So V is 300, right? So V is 300, so I know this is 300. But I don't know, I don't like the math method too much because all of a sudden I have 300 here and I have no rationale for how I got the 300 except the math. Where here graphically I know it went up 8 and then down 15. I kind of just like the graphical method better. Hang on, Angelina. Okay, then this one. So now, what is x? The reason why I was having a problem here, actually, we should probably just say section 1 and section 2. Because x here was crystal clear. I knew it was between 0 and less than 5. But x here is that middle part, right? It's not the whole thing, right? It's just this section here. And if I say it's from, what is the total distance here? 5? If I had said it was from 0 to 5, you might think I'm back here. And if I say it's from 5 to 10, you don't plug in 5 to 10, because x only represents this section. So at this point, what is x?
5.
0.
Oh, right, you.
So this is where it's confusing. Unless we call the whole thing x.
That's okay.
What would you prefer to do? We could do that.
No, I like it. It's fine. Good.
Do you want the whole thing to be x?
No.
Well, mathematically, I think it might be easier.
Why don't we just, since we're only going between 5 and 10, why don't we just, if we're gonna call it the whole thing, just put 5
I'm just going to
plus
call it
X.
section 1 and section 2, and I'm not putting any numbers up here at all. And by doing that, then I know, so when I'm at this point, which is right here, what is x based on this? So I lost some of you already. I'm defining, you guys, I'm defining x as only this section here in the middle. So if I want to find what is going on with the moment right here, what is x? 0. So when x is 0, what happens? It's at 8,000. Then, when I'm at the full distance, x is what? 5. And when I put 5 in here, it's 1,500 plus 8,000. So it goes up to 9,500.
And you got that by plugging in 10? No.
No, I plugged it in, Okay, everybody look up here.
Oh.
If I drew that only this part represents x, x is going from what to what? What is x here?
From 0 to 5.
What is it here? Everybody? Is everybody comfortable with that?
Yeah.
If I'm defining that it's x only represents the distance in the second section, then when I'm here, x is 0. And when I'm here, x is 5. Is everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So just cross out, just write where it says, where you copy down, section 1 and section 2, cross out that other stuff. So doing the math, notice, you guys, this is the important thing, to understand the sign convention. Because I put V going down, not I, because static sign convention is to have V going down, V turns out to be the same sign as the forces that are applying. You guys got that? Look at the diagram. Which way is the 1800 going? 1800 is going up. When we draw our shear diagram, we draw it going up. The only way we can draw it going up using the equilibrium equation is if we have a sign convention of draw V going down. Because then it's sum of the forces in the y is 18 up minus V, and V turns out to be the same sign. Did everybody get that? So, you don't have a choice. In statics, V goes down. But it's awesome. Because V goes down, whenever we do all these things, if the force goes up, V goes up. If force goes down, V goes down. If force goes down, V goes down. The only reason that's created is because the sign convention for statics has the shear at the cut going down. However, it's the opposite for the moment. In statics, the sign convention has the moment at the cut being positive, which means when the moment is positive, you draw it going negative. Okay, questions? I want 5 questions before we leave.
Oh, shit. Go
About this, about the convention, because people are confused, and we need to know this. This was not my decision to do this. This is the statics way. I like the V going down. You guys like the V going down?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why do you like the V going down here?
Because that way our
Because, tell me,
the
in
shear
a sentence, the shear
is equal to
The shear follows the same direction as the force?
yeah.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yeah.
The shear follows the same direction as the
The
force.
shear follows
And
the
the only way it does that is because the statics convention, the shear, the variable of the shear at the cut is down. Do you like this?
Yeah.
I don't really like this.
Oh, no.
I would rather have it the other way, because I want to just follow everything the way it was. But if we did it the other way, then what would it screw up? I do like that you have positive area, positive slope,
Yeah.
right? So I think I'm happy with that. The only problem is I have to remember when I see a problem, I scan it and I say, damn it, there is a concentrated moment there. I have to make sure that there is a vertical change there. And if it's positive here, it is
Negative.
negative here. Okay, Spencer.
So I was just looking at it from a different point of if we say the moment about that point, we have one going that way, but then our force is on the other side acting the opposite direction.
Okay.
Isn't that just another way that we use
Yeah,
the
you
chart?
can look at it that way too, because this force is creating this moment, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's creating a moment going that way, negatives, this has got to be the opposite. Same thing over here. This moment here is created due to this force, and this concentrated moment. Okay, that's only one question.
That
We're actually
that would
over
pretty
here.
much cover it.
Danny.
Of the, these 3.
Was there a moment right there?
Which color?
Red.
The red one? Because we're trying to calculate what the moment is. When I take this beam and I cut it right here, at that point, I want to know what the shear in the moment is. So I'm producing a shear and bending moment diagram that is telling me at every single point along the beam, I know what shear and moment it's experiencing. Another question. Alex, question.
Yeah, so
Good.
pretty much the moment on that point has to be negative in order to contradict the other forces that are causing the moment? That's why it has to
But it's all because of the convention. Because the convention in statics, but this moment does have to counteract the other. I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, I could go on and on. The best thing, if the moment's positive here, you got to draw it negative. If it's negative, positive. Because we do really like this. We like that when we have a positive area, we get a positive slope. And a positive area, we get a positive slope. So this we like. The only thing that we don't like is that when there's a concentrated moment and it's positive, we draw it negative. The reason why is because of this convention. If the convention was the other way, this would actually be flipped. And I don't like that it would be flipped.
No.
Okay, another question?
Tim, don't be shy.
Brandon?
Why is it called B?
It was created by vampires.
What? Tim really went that far.
They kind of, I don't know, they ran out of variables. I don't know, we can look that up. Maybe which
Right
one
in.
it is. V is, but I think he's asking why is V the symbol for shear?
Oh, no, I thought we were just asking.
One shear, two shear.
It was made by the Star Trek.